Good afternoon. It's Desi from the Ark. I'm going to make some lasagna today. So we're going to do some step by step right now. Ready? We're going to have this big pot right here. And we're going to fill it up about halfway with water. Okay? Okay, so now I put the pot on the stove. I'm not turning it on yet. I have it there because I want to get it ready. Okay? So first things first, we have a skillet here. Nice, clean skillet. What I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put a pound of ground beef in that skillet and we're going to brown it, okay? So give me a quick second. We're going to get that started. Okay, so this is our ground beef that we're going to use. It's 1 pound. It says right there 16 ounces equals 1 pound. 1 lb. I don't know why it's lb is a pound, but it is a pound. So anyways, we're going to get started with browning that. Okay, here we go. So now we are cooking. We got the meat in the pan. Here we go. There you go. Sorry about that. We have the meat in the pan. Forgive my awkward hands here. And we're going to brown this up, okay? Okay, so we're browning the meat in the pan, and we're getting it a little bit more, separated at this point. I'm going to do what I usually do. I'm going to season it now. So I didn't pull that out of the cupboard. Sorry about that. But this is my cupboard. Here we are. And I always use a couple of things. I always use garlic salt. I always use pepper, McCormick's, because that's how I roll. And I think that's all we're going to need for right now. So when we do this, we don't want to overdo it because you don't want it too peppery and you don't want it too salty, because salt's not very a healthy thing, and there's going to be cheese involved, so the cheese will have a lot of the salt in that too. Okay guys, you see all this fluid at the bottom? All of that down there happens to be the fat of the meat. So in a little bit we're going to strain this, but after our meat's cooked already. Oh my goodness. So every time I cook, I have this trouble where I have to sneeze. So I'm going to have to walk away from this kitchen and put you on pause, because that pepper, something about pepper, whew, never mind. I think it's gone. Here we go. And see, I have it on a medium-high heat. I don't know if... There we go. It's the front burner. And it has a little diagram. So if you're cooking, there's 4 burners, and it's highlighted that it's this burner. So you turn it on, and I put it on to 7. Now, this stove that I'm using is electric, so it has these coily businesses right here. And that means that will turn red and get hot. Let's see here. Yeah. See? Real hot. Real hot. So that's when you know it's on. Also, if you put your pan on the stove and you put a little bit of oil in the pan and then you turn the range on. And of course you're doing this with the help of your care provider, your parent, or just a friend who will be willing to help you and knows what they're doing in the kitchen, because you don't want to ever go in the kitchen to cook something and have it become dangerous. Okay, so I live in an apartment, so really close by is a fire extinguisher in case anything got out of hand. If anything does get out of hand, you could always I think it's baking powder, but you don't want it to get out of hand, so you always watch your temperatures and you always keep it low. And if it begins to smoke, up here is this vent, and it just makes all that steam or smoke go out, so that way it doesn't set off your fire alarm, because then your fire alarm over there will go off and it'll be like, woo, 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 fire, 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 and nobody wants that. That's dangerous. So I'm gonna pause you for a second. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, at this point our meat is getting more brown, and it's almost all the way brown. So now we're going to come over here to this stove right here. And right here, you see right here on this side, it has the 4, and then the one in the corner is highlighted. So look at our stovetop. There's 4 burners. This is the one in the corner. It's not on yet, so I can touch it. But after a while, I'm going to put it on high right now. And it's not going to warm up right away, but it will warm up. And when it does, you're not going to want to touch all this. It's going to be super hot, very dangerous. Be very careful, guys. Okay, guys. So now, I'm putting spaghetti sauce in the meat. Now, before I did that, I emptied all that fat that was around the side. And what I did was, I didn't go to the sink for that, but I did go to the sink. I put this right in the middle of my drain, so that way it caught it in a can. Now this can is just regular can from, like, I don't know, canned chicken or something. But I save all the cans for certain things like that. So if I'm browning meat and I need to get rid of fat, I put it in the can. After it cools, I throw it away in the trash. You don't want to waste it, but you don't want to. Well, you need to throw it away, but you don't want to. You don't want to, like, make a fire either. So there you go. But the next thing we're doing is we're gonna put our spaghetti sauce in the meat. Now I added an extra thing to the meat. I added Italian seasoning, and I just went across the top, and that was it. Okay, so now our sauce is in with the spaghetti, and we're going to let that simmer together. Not spaghetti, I'm sorry, the ground beef, sorry. There we go. So it's in there, and we're just going to let it simmer together. We have it on low, and that's going to sit there until our water boils right here. So our water is getting closer to boiling. You see the little bubbles on the bottom, but once those bubbles start reaching the top, that's when you know it's starting to bubble. It'll boil. It's like blah 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 blah, blah like crazy. Anyways, so you'll see that in just a moment, okay? Oh, next we have to work on making our cheese. Well, I guess not. No. Okay, so here's the deal. I put a layer of noodle down. Well, I do a layer sauce. Then I put the noodle down. Then I throw the sauce and the meat on top. Then I do cottage cheese. So you're gonna dot it with cottage cheese like around. And this is the pan I'm gonna use right here. I guess it's not really. Is it called a pan? I don't really know. Let me see here. What is it called? It is called. It's called a square baking dish. Okay, so I'm going to use a square baking dish because there's only 2 of us at home, so we don't have to make a whole bunch. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a square baking dish, and I'm going to put sauce on the bottom, a layer of noodles just across the top of this, just across the bottom of it. It's going to be sauce, then it's going to be a layer of noodle, then it's going to be a layer of meat sauce, and then it's going to be. But even the bottom sauce will be meat sauce. It's going to be whatever the sauce is in the pan. Okay, that's going to go down the bottom. The noodles are going to go on. Bye.